In the last lesson, I talked about the importance of structures, traditions, routines, and rituals to build a happy marriage. In this lesson, I want to propose 3 rituals that should make your relationship stronger and help you sustain what you've learned in this course. The first is a weekly powwow. Although people call it by different names, the purpose is to come together once a week and review how you're doing and plan the upcoming week. Although you can structure such meetings in any way that will serve you, here are some guidelines. Number 1, make the same time and setting each week. Making the time consistent will make you a lot more likely to do it, and soon it will become something that you look forward to every week. The setting should be comfortable and a quiet place, free of distractions and interruptions. You want to put smartphones or electronic devices aside unless or until you need them for a particular task like calendaring. Number 2, bring notebooks and pencils so you can jot down notes of your discussion to refer back to later. Number 3, begin your powwow by each sharing 5 things that you appreciate about your partner from this last week. These aren't just general global, but these are things that he or she did for you or things that he or she did that you're grateful for. Number 4, talk about what's going well in your relationship. What have you been doing that's building friendship or bringing you closer together? Number 5, take a look at your calendars and talk about your schedules for the upcoming week. How can you support each other? When are you going to get couple time? Number 6, bring up any conflicts or concerns. Sometimes we hold on to issues that bother us. They don't go away, but instead they lead to resentment when we don't talk about them. So use this time to bring up anything that might interfere with your good feelings. You want to close the lid on boxes of unresolved issues, so to speak. And be sure to use the skills from the conflict lessons as you discuss and resolve any concerns. 7, conclude with a hug or some form of affection or expressions of appreciation. Well, these meetings generally last about an hour, but again, you can modify the agenda or the time to fit your needs. Design your powwow or your weekly meeting in a way that will serve you. The important thing is to be proactive about managing your relationship. Another ritual, which I've mentioned before, we've talked about this already, is a weekly date. Research is pretty clear about this. Couples who have fun together have the most satisfying relationships. Well, and that's the purpose of your weekly date. It isn't to talk about things that are heavy or resolve conflict, but it's to do shared activities that you both enjoy, that you can both look forward to. Now, it doesn't mean that every date or date night is going to be equally fun for both of you. Sometimes one of you is supporting the other in something that's important to your partner. And so sometimes rather than even deciding jointly on what you do each week, you can rotate who chooses and who plans the date. But make sure that you do it and that it's light and enjoyable. A third structure that I want to recommend is a quarterly getaway, or however often you can do it. Ideal if it's quarterly. This is a time for just the 2 of you to get away at least overnight, if not for 2 or 3 days. A lot of your time should be fun and recreation, kind of like an extended date. However, I also recommend that you make some time for some relationship building as well. Think of it a little bit like a business retreat in which you reflect on how you're doing or you make plans for the future. Let me propose an agenda to you. Number 1, begin by talking about what's going well in your marriage. In fact, take time to name at least 10 things that are going well and really savor this discussion. You don't have to rush through it, but savor it, enjoy it. Number 2, review your commitments from the last retreat. Look back on the past 3 or so months and allow a little airtime for each one of you to talk about how you've done in keeping the commitments that you've made since the last retreat. What has gone well? What has not? Number 3, discuss your shared vision. How are you doing? Use this time, bring your shared vision with you, and use this time to modify or renew it. Look to the future and plan what you hope to do individually or collectively in the next quarter at least, if not year or even few years. Enjoy the time as you plan together. Number 4, bring up concerns. What is not going well in your relationship? And again, like you do in your weekly powwow, use the conflict skills to address these areas. Number 5, make commitments to one another about what you will do to strengthen your marriage between now and your next retreat. And 6 is to conclude with a flooding exercise that accompanies this lesson. And this is a really powerful process in which you and your partner flood each other with positive messages in 4 areas. So please see the resource, download the resource that goes with this lesson for more information. Well, there are potentially many, many other rituals and traditions which you already have or which you could put in place to strengthen your marriage or your family. You might want to take some time in a weekly powwow or even a quarterly retreat to discuss what these routines might be or what traditions you might want to create anew to strengthen your marriage. As you learn to do these things, you're making partner time and marriage time important, and you're putting in place the kinds of rituals and traditions that are going to strengthen you over time. Well, the next lesson is really exciting. I'm going to talk about a process for creating a marital coat of arms.